Shocking betrayals on paternity court.
I have been in tears for the last 2 years trying to meet my daughter, and she has never let me once talk to her or see her.
My kids coming telling me how they sleeping in the bed with you and another woman. So how do you think that made me feel?
Miss Martin rolled up into court saying that Mr. Blackman treats their fifth boy like poppycock, and his behavior has separated them, so she wants childcare expenses. Meanwhile, the defendant claimed that baby mama is promiscuous and she cheated on him, which jeopardized their relationship.
You say that the father of your 4 kids treats your newborn baby like an evil stepchild.
Yes.
Because he doubts paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
Furthermore, you claim that his behavior has forced you to take the kid and leave him.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're asking the court to award you $3,100 for the next 6 months of child care expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Initially, it was disclosed that things went downhill when love and affection faded away from their relationship. The plaintiff told the court that the alleged baby daddy calls her some nasty names like that.
We have 5 kids together. 6 with his daughter is also my stepchild. I just never felt love appreciated. He always called me fat. You know, you lazy, you nasty, you don't do this, you don't do that. How can I when I got a man saying all these things to me? Like you expect to come home.
I see.
So, after being together for 6 years, she gave Mr. Blackman the ultimatum of getting married. But in return, he dropped his urge to find someone better. And Miss Martin found his best friend whom she got intimate with, which led them into this mess.
I gave him an ultimatum. I was ready to get married. I feel like after 6 years, why are you not ready? That's because you exploring your options. Maybe you looking for something better. I don't know. But if that's the case, then let me go.
So you left?
Yes. He begged me to come back, and now he wants to get married.
Come back because it's around Christmas time. I ain't never spent the Christmas away from my children. I ain't begged you to do nothing.
However, Miss Martin managed to get back with a potential father, but she did not give up on her lover and got intimate with both men at the same time, till she conceived the baby. I wonder if she was playing seesaw with both of them.
Did you go back to Mr. Blackman?
Yes, she came back.
I did, because I loved him. I was not in love with him, but I loved him, and I thought we had a fight.
So you went back at that point, were you faithful to Mr. Black?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's shaking his head no. That smirk you did after the statement, I was faithful, did not look truthful.
Thank you.
Up next, when Judge Lauren asked about the pregnancy news, it turned out that the baby mama told both potential fathers about the baby, but the way they tackled the situation was quite low. She tried to abort the baby. I mean, how could a mother of 4 children think of getting rid of baby number 5?
You find out you're pregnant. Do you tell Mr. Stevenson and Mr. Blackman?
I told both of them.
No, she tried to pass the baby off on me first. She gonna come tell me some mess about, we know we can't afford no baby, and they told me I got pregnant in such and such month, and then she tell me the sex of the baby. I look at it and tell you know this ain't my baby.
Even though Mr. Stevenson was actively sleeping with the plaintiff, but when he found out about the baby, he abruptly switched on his ghost mode. Mommy stated that he got shifts in his emotions. First, I got happy for a minute, and then flew off the coop.
He was happy for a minute. He completely disappeared. I didn't hear from him for another 4 or 5 months.
Happy for a minute, then disappeared?
Finally, Judge Lauren called the other potential father. He testified that Miss Martin's behavior made him go away even after knowing that the baby could be his. But he came back when the baby was born. And this was again the shocking news to Mr. Blackman. Like this.
When Ms. Martin told you she was pregnant,
First I was happy, and then I just disappeared. She kept calling me a deadbeat daddy, this and that, and that. I got tired of listening to
Because
her.
he wasn't there. That's what you was. He brought a used car seat to the hospital.
who did?
Mr. Stevenson.
He been to the hospital?
Yeah, he came to the hospital.
Oh my, this lady had dug the hole for herself intentionally. Despite 2 possibilities of the baby's father, Mummy gave Mr. Blackman's last name, neglecting the other potential daddy based on her thoughts like that.
After I had the baby, Mr. Stevenson came. He was just like, oh, well, I want a DNA test. He want the baby to have his name, but he didn't want to sign a birth certificate. But drilling me about a last name or a name. My baby name is Ramir Jeremiah Blackman.
Why are you
name?
so stuck on giving him my name? You just told me I did the exact same thing he
That's a
did.
fair question.
Further, it was revealed that the defendant treats baby Ramir like an evil stepchild. He does not look or even hold him. Oh man, you should be ashamed. How could you punish a little innocent baby for his mommy's wrongdoings?
Don't touch him. He won't even look at him. Like if he in the same room, he just acts totally blank. If the baby start crying and I step out the room, he sending the kids, tell your mama to come get that baby. My daughter is 4. She told him to his face, like, why are you treating the baby like this, daddy? Get your baby, hold your baby. Why are you doing my mommy like this?
As we all knew that there was a mess all over the court, the baby mama brought more drama. She claimed that Mr. Blackman has been sleeping with multiple women around his kids. Who does that on earth, boy? That's just nasty.
You cheated 1,000,001 times, Rail.
It's still about the baby,
all type
Rail.
of women around my kids.
It's
telling
still
me
about
how
the
they
baby.
sleeping in the bed with you.
Still
My
about the
kids
baby.
coming
It's
telling
still
me
about
how
the
they
baby.
sleeping in the bed with you and another woman. So how do you think that made me feel?
Despite all the facts, it was slipped that Miss Martin somehow managed to keep both potential fathers in the baby's life, and her ongoing games got on the nerves of Judge Lake. So, she credited her sassy reality check instead of a lawsuit like this.
That you standing here suing Mr. Blackman,
Suing
but
Mr.
you mad at
Blackman.
Mr. Stevenson. He brought a used car seat up, look, for a baby that he wasn't even sure was his. Well, for a woman with so much nerve that you can tell people to take their car seat and take their this, why don't you have enough money to move yourself?
Yes, we all agree with the judge. Babies should not pay for their parents' faults. However, their to and fro allegations were all over and made things more complicated for the baby boy. So the last hope to get closure was to reveal whatever was hiding in that DNA envelope.
Mr. Stevenson, you are his father.
Ex-cyclical couple of 10 years arrived in the court when a paternity mess got out of hand. Miss Bryson dragged Mr. McCarroll to court to prove that he was the biological father of her baby, even after admitting to having a sexual relationship with multiple guys.
Ms. Bryson, you have dragged the defendant, your ex-boyfriend, Mr. McCarroll, into court today because although you admit to having sex with more than one man, you are here with proof that Mr. McCarroll is the father of your 18-month-old son, Zylan McCarroll. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The case commenced with determining the nature of their relationship. It was divulged the couple was separated because of the alleged father's whorish nature. So, does it mean promiscuity drowned their relationship? And we know when things roll like that, you end up in paternity court.
We're not working on getting anything back in track because Mr. McCarroll, he has whorish ways and he wants me to be a whore like he is. I'm not that type of person.
Mr. McCarroll, you want her to be a whore like you are?
No, Your Honor. I have no idea where Miss Bryson gets that from.
Are you just trying to say he cheats on you a lot?
Yes,
But
every
you-
time we're together, he cheats.
So the baby mama stated that the unavailability of the defendant rings the bell of infidelity. She claimed that he had been cheating on her with her best friend, but the alleged baby daddy was consistently denying accusations like this.
When he did find a job while we was together, I was supposed to bring his lunch in for him. I called him, he didn't answer, and I know him. Anytime he don't answer the phone, it's a woman involved.
I
And
always
sure
answer
enough,
my
it
phone.
was.
I want to take a lot of
It's always, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I don't know nothing. Like he over here talking now like I'm the bad guy.
Even though they were not together and had other people in their lives, still, Mr. McCarroll could not keep his hands off and managed to be intimate with Miss Bryson like that.
Every time he comes over, he don't know how to keep his hands to himself. Even if I'm in a relationship, he still does it. As soon as my friend turns his back, he touching on. And I tell him, don't do that. But while I'm separated, I do love him with all my heart. I want all my kids to be here. I never, ever cheated on him.
Further, the plaintiff brought the calendar of conception and contended that she has no doubt regarding the baby's paternity, and that the man is just knitting this story to get rid of the baby.
In blue is the date you were intimate with Mr. McCarroll.
Yes, ma'am.
Actual
And
date. I
now
want to
in
know how
pink,
you know that.
you have outlined the window of conception that you calculate.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't forget to put the other
How
one in
did you
there.
get these dates?
I actually went online because when I found out that I was pregnant, I had currently went to the doctor a week before.
However, the defendant denied the whole testimony of baby mama and contended that baby mama was busy with a man at the time she was messing with him. Sounds valid.
Do you remember having sex with Miss Bryson on the 28th?
No, ma'am. On the 28th specifically, no, I can't say that. She might have been with that guy then. I have no idea.
The truth is, you all were separated at that time. You had another
Yes, Your Honor.
girlfriend you were dealing with?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Miss Bryson told the court that she had excluded the other possibility because the baby looked like McCarroll and her other children. But the potential father has the opposite testimony of hers, like this.
I just don't think that he is, because my son, he looked just like my daughter. And also I have another 6-week-old by him, and they look the same when they were born. And that's why I just don't think the other guy is the father at all.
I think the new baby and my daughter look exactly alike, but Zylan does not look like me. I do want a DNA test for him too, just to be sure. When I met her, she didn't have nothing.
Oh my! People, you're in court, and you need to watch yourselves. As the defendant's behavior was annoying, it made Judge Lawrence so mad, she smacked him like this.
She still don't have nothing according to you.
I
He got all your babies.
that.
No, stop over-talking me. What I want to understand is you want to try to downgrade her in this courtroom, but she been with you on and off, having your children for 10 years, and her life has not improved at all.
For better understanding and to create some sense, Judge Lake summoned Mr. Green to the podium and asked about the particular situation. He testified that baby mama has been sleeping with both men at the same time, and this is why he is not sure.
Do you believe you are Zylan's biological father?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Why?
Because at the same time she was with me, she was messing around with him. She told me she was 99% sure that he was the father. It's a possibility that I could be.
Did you know she was still sleeping with Mr. McCarroll when she was with you?
No.
When did you find out?
When she got pregnant, she told me.
However, their testimony revealed so many secrets one after another, and they made some sort of sense to the paternity conflict. But still, the DNA results were the only way to identify the whole truth. So, let's get those results.
Mr. Perkins, you are not the father. Mr. McCarroll, you are not the father.
Anxiously waiting to find the truth, Mr. Webb sought Judge Lake's help to determine if he was the father of Miss Forrest's baby girl. Meanwhile, the defendants were ready to prove his claims wrong to end this drama once and for all.
Mr. Webb, you claim the defendant, Mrs. Forrest, left you for dead only to find out once you got out of a coma that she was pregnant and that the baby could be yours or her husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Forrest, you and your husband are here today. You say you have no doubt your daughter's biological father is your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
So baby mama was caught in the love triangle, and she started running after the other man, leaving her husband behind, which ultimately led these people into a paternity issue.
My husband got in some trouble and I ended up meeting Mr. Webb through one of my friends. We hit it off and then I ended up leaving Mr. Forrest for Mr. Webb.
So you began a sexual relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you using protection at the time?
No, Your Honor.
When the judge asked the alleged father about his side of the story, he told the court while struggling for his life, he got the news of her being pregnant from her aunt, and he was told he could be the possible father.
It didn't happen like that at first. Yes, we was in love. Towards the end, I was on life support. As soon as I got out the hospital, I had got a phone call saying that she was pregnant. I heard it from my aunt first, but on my way to Illinois, she had called me and told me that it was a possibility that Elena was my child.
However, the mommy denied the plaintiff's testimony. But to support his claims, Mr. Webb brought the letter of truth, in which Mrs. Forrest confessed that he was the father of her baby girl.
So this is a statement from your mom?
That is a statement from my mom, and he was there the very next morning in a motel with her.
Is that true?
We were already broke up. We've done called it quit.
Me and my wife had
a lie,
already
Your Honor.
started talking back about getting back together. Well, after they done broke up like 3 days before he ever went to the hospital.
No, Your Honor.
Oh my! See, this is how it looks aiming an arrow in the air. As the plaintiff and defendant were messing around the day before the alleged baby daddy went on life support, but playing a safe game, my husband is the father.
Now you here to tell me you know for sure that your child is fathered by Mr. Forrest and you've got this close proximity?
She looks, yes, Your Honor. She looks just like my husband. She takes after him.
But you do realize this difference in time, this is all a part of the same window of conception. You do understand that, right, Ms. Forrest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Huh? The baby is 2, but still, Miss Forrest had not let Mr. Webb see the baby. And when he tried, she blocked him and vanished off the face of the earth because she is afraid of him running off with the baby. What kind of a fear is this lady going on about?
Elena is 2 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have still not held this baby?
No, Your Honor.
I'm afraid that if he does get to see my daughter, that he can run off with her, and
But he's
there's
done
nothing I
threatened
can
her.
do to get
So
her
you
back.
admit that you've been blocking Mr. Webb from seeing
Yes.
Elena?
Yes, Your Honor.
It was upsetting to see a young man begging to meet his daughter for 2 years. Ugh, this must be very painful to Daddy. He asserted that he had to create a fake account to see his baby like this.
I have been in tears for the last 2 years trying to meet my daughter, and she has never let me once
When I
talk to
called
her
him-
or see her.
When I talked to
have
him and
had
told him
to
I was
create
pregnant.
a fake Facebook account just to see pictures of Elena. I have planned to meet her in Dyersburg, Tennessee, just so I can meet Elena out in public.
Even though Mr. and Miss Forrest's cruelty was at its peak, and they were jumping leaps and bounds to have things in their favor, the only way to find the truth for baby Eliana was to discover the secret the DNA envelope was holding. So, let's get to those results.
When it comes to 2-year-old Elena Forrest, as to whether her biological father is Mr. Webb or Mr. Forrest, it has been determined by this court that her biological father is Mr. Webb.
This case here is the whole mess of swindling. A woman stalked a man she met on a train and landed straight in his bed. Miss Call's habit of swinging has caused a paternity mess for her baby, and won a DNA test to cut this matter off forever.
Mr. Jacobs, you're on the birth certificate and paying child support for 3-year-old Samar, but say your ex is now telling people that you are not his biological father, and you're suing today to prove that Samar is your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, their relationship started in the Disney version. She saw him on the train, complimented, followed, and then was like, I'm a coming in your bed. Oh, what kind of loose people are messing around with the world?
Miss Call on the train, coming back from the gym. She sits in front of me, continuous staring at me. She compliments me on my eyes, and I said thank you, it's flattering. Like, I've been hearing that since I was little, so it's nothing new. Getting off the train, she's following me, and she comes upstairs, and being a gentleman that I am, I like to get to know
This
her.
is after you met on the train?
Yes, ma'am.
However, Mr. Jacobs told the court that after 1 month, she got pregnant. But the baby mama chose a romantic way to reveal the news and asked him to listen to the Usher's song confession. But it did not go the way she planned.
I was at home. I text Ernest because I was listening to a song by Usher, Confessions. And in the first verse of the song, it says that she was pregnant. She was keeping it. I told him to go listen to it. He texted me back. He said, "You're pregnant?" I told him yes. He started denying the baby straight from the back.
Yeah,
he told me it wasn't his. It was another guy's baby.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Now this is messed up badly. So when the baby was born, he took a chance and signed the birth certificate without mommy's permission. And it confused the whole situation because the defendant told the plaintiff that there's a possibility of another father.
I was in a recovery room. When I woke up, he told me he signed the birth certificate, named the baby, everything. I didn't know nothing about it until I woke up in a recovery room.
So the baby was named and the birth certificate was signed when you
woke up from
Your Honor,
the C-section,
that's
Your
not
Honor.
true at all.
Nevertheless, the defendant pinned the paternity story toward Mr. Cooper because her son looks like him. Mommy had both men on the same ride, while the one was convinced he was the father.
Mr. Cooper's family members showed me a picture of Mr. Cooper when he was 3-year-old. My son is 3-year-old now. They look just alike in them 2 pictures of Mr. Cooper when he was 3 and my son now that he's 3.
So you saw a picture?
Yes.
And when you saw that picture, you saw your son?
Yeah. And every day I look at my son, he looks more and more like Mr. Cooper.
To clear up the shady cloud, Judge Lake summoned the other potential father. He disclosed that Miss Call was a promiscuous lady and had a false reputation around town. He further asserted that he was certain he could not be the father of her son.
Had a sexual relationship with Miss Call, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
She has testified in court today that she believes that you are Samar's biological father. Do you believe you are?
Not at all.
Did she tell you you were the father, or did she tell you Mr. Jacobs was the father?
Man, she was trying to hint that I was the father.
Even though the testimony seemed nothing but baffling, Miss Call was consistently stating the same thing from the beginning. Hence, the only way to settle this dispute was to get that envelope.
You are not the father.
There's a couple more people.
a couple more people. Ain't no shame in the game now. I mean, the results are in. This may require some research on your part because your baby deserves to know who his father is.